But to refuse to stand is to offer our children to the corruption, is to offer our daughters to the men outside our door. How can we continue like this? How can we go on? How can we be silent when our children are being sacrificed to Molech? We must proclaim. We must stand firm on what is true, God's view of marriage and family, God's purpose for mankind. And we must proclaim Christ. We must proclaim to all who hear, be saved from this crooked generation. And Christ is the only hope. Christ is the hope for the one who is struggling with sexual sin. He's the answer. He's the one who can set us free. And the world is not our enemy. The world is our mission field. And unless we stand up and proclaim, they will be destroyed with the rest of mankind. And it is our duty to stand up. Because even now, God's wrath is being stored up. And it will flame down upon all the sexually immoral, all those who practice abominations. And if you could see beyond the veil, if you could look into heaven, you would see the smoke rising up. Even now. You'll see the fire and the hailstones, even now being prepared. God making ready His arrows. He will come in flame and fire and devastation. He will rescue His beloved sons and daughters, and no one will escape unless you flee to Christ now. That whatever we do, as we move forward, it must be centered around God's intention, around God's plan, around the hope of the gospel, that Christ will save. We must call mothers to stand up and to be the moms that they are called to be, to nurture their children, to train them up in godliness. We need to call fathers, and we need to train fathers now to flee the ways of Lot and his failures, to flee sexual immorality, to stand as the gatekeepers of their homes, to return back to what God has intended for mankind. This is the way forward. This is what we must be doing. Men who refuse to offer their children to the perversion of the world, to offer their daughters to the wicked men at their door, who are watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men and strong, who do everything in love. This is what we need to be doing. We need men and women who are faithful. We need the church to be the church as God has called us to. When we preach, we are not trying to say that there is no hope. When we are saying that there is judgment coming, what we are saying is that there is hope because Christ has set us free from the wrath of God. He's provided an escape. And if you are one of those who is loaded with sin, you feel the weight of Sodom and Gomorrah, you feel inside the anger of God welling up towards you, listen, there is a freedom for you. It is not to be found in the lies of Satan. It is in Christ. Run to Christ. Flee to Christ. Run while you can and find in Him grace and life and peace